Hey guys, so ran into a bit of a snag. Also, if you're new, hello, and my hands have always been this way, it's just the way I was born. Anyway, so again, the thumbnail and all that stuff should have told you what we're going for. We're going for Death's Mask, essentially, from Soul Eater. I love the series immensely, and I would highly advise it. The thing is, I'm very torn. Because whilst I was molding, I was able to get the eyes roughly the kind of like super circular kind of idea across, thankfully. But the nose is where I started to kind of, I could have done the circle, but a part of me really liked the way it just kind of worked right there. It's like a really nice soft kind of slight circle, but kind of like triangle. So I don't know. I'm kind of torn. I don't know if I should just leave it as is and kind of take my artistic freedom on this and be like, hey, instead of just a circular nose, we'll just do like a triangle one, right? We still have the iconic teeth as well as the very circular eyes, as well as the kind of very flat proportions, kind of symbolizing Death's neutral stance or neutral face structure when he's a good old dad. Anyways, now the problem is that Death always has a circular nose. Now we are going to be making 3 more of these masks, because there's 3 variants of Death that I want to make. Soul Eater Death, not Death the Kid. The first variant being this one, which is basically his just super I'm retired Death, good vibes, good dad, all that kind of stuff. which he has these 3 circles, almost like a bowling ball, right? But there's another variant that I want to mess around with, which is basically the same thing, except his eyes are kind of slitted and look a little bit more intense. And this one, like, Big Dad Death is pretty angry. And then the third mask, I know there's a lot, I want to make on the character is Death's original mask when he was in his heyday in Soul Eater, which is a lot more like skull-like, and it doesn't have these fangs. Instead, it's like just these bulky teeth, and he has a lot more eyebrow definition and detail. Which is exactly why I chose this mask to do, is because it varies in its intensity and its detail and its demanding. For those guys who do not know, I am very much a beginner in all of this, but I plan to get better as quick as I possibly can, because I really am into this. What you've just seen thus far is kind of what I'm getting at. I just want to show you guys the nice process of creating something. I'm not sure if I'll go too hard into the explaining exactly what everything is, like the paste or the paper clay and all that stuff. I think I'll just label it or link to videos in the description of what those are. But essentially, we're just making masks here as well as any other thing I kind of want. So yeah. Now, back to the original problem, the nose. We are going to be doing the circular nose, unfortunately. The reason why is because in all 3 of the mask variations that I want to do, the one thing that is almost always a constant, you guessed it, it's the weird circular nose. The eyes are the thing that changes, not the nose. So with the addition of making these other masks, the nose is the most canonical kind of thing in Death's look repertoire, I guess. So that sucks a touch, because I really did like the nose of this. I'm not sure if you guys can see it too well because the focus is being a nightmare. But yeah, it looks like it's pretty symmetrical, the nose and all that stuff. The clay went fantastic with that. Anyways, I'm off to go crank away at this, and I probably will just keep this angle, because, you know, levity and all that. Now, you might be asking, Grinn, by the way, hi, I'm Grinn. How the hell are you going to make a perfectly circular nose? I took a toilet paper roll, taped it, and so it's a little bit smaller than normal, and that should fit roughly the right distance. And then I'm just going to add paper clay around it, and fill in what I need to, and should be good. Cool. But yes, wish me luck. There, that's a touch more circular. Maybe not exactly circle, but I can't really make it any more circle. That's what I'll think. Hi, one more thing. I just want to squeeze in here. I'm not the best at the editing thing yet. I'll work towards doing that. I have to find this kind of thing I'm trying to do's footing first. But my primary concern is just getting better at it. For right now. Be patient with me. Thank you. Alrighty, so I'm not sure if you guys saw that, but I basically touched up the eyes. There were like some gaps and stuff, and I wanted it to be sturdy, so I filled in some of that with some paper clay, and then I'm putting on a setting coat with that stuff, and we're going to let it dry, and I'm going to peel it off the mask, let the back dry, and then we're going to color this thing, which is, frankly, honestly pretty easy, but this time it should be pretty doable, so shout out to that. Also, the camera is at a slight lean. I apologize. Jeez.
Hi, me coming from the editing void. Yeah, we have to sand it. Side thing, very important. And then we're going to add a slight layer of, many layers of drywall compound. Why? Because it smooths out the bone flesh thing material. Yes. It's not important. It'll all make sense. It smooths out the surface, so I don't have to sand the whole thing. Also, I'm impatient. I could let it dry and then sand it, but that's a lot of sanding. Why not just add a layer of drywall compound, and then you have a nice surface to paint on? It's great. Also, it's white and it's bone white. It just works. I'll leave. Thank you.
Hi, ladies and gentlemen. We have achieved more or less what I wanted. Now, the first things first. The video is kind of ambiguous because I don't know what it is yet. So, I don't know if I want to explain every single detail. I don't know if I just want to kind of show the process and kind of put some nice music in the background and just have that satisfying completion at the end. I don't know. We'll see, and you guys will definitely see that as we progress, because this is the first of many masks on this channel. Now, so the one thing that you guys probably noticed that I was a bit not sure about is doing the slight lines around his eyes. I'm not sure if you guys can actually tell, but there's a painted line around there, because in all the images that I've seen, our boy, Dad Death, whatever his name is, I love the show, I just am bad with names. Regardless, he has a black silhouette, which is why when I put this on my face, just give me a minute, because it doesn't look exactly right, because you have I have a flesh face, like a human, and all that. says the lizard person. Anyways, if you're unfamiliar with masks made this way, this is basically a template of my face, generally speaking. So when I put the mask on my face, it is actually perfectly fitted to me. So this is a perfectly fitted mask. If you want, you can paint the inside. I don't really care, because this to me is more, just because of what you guys are about to see, this mask is more to me a decoration that I can set somewhere, leave it, and then if people see it, they'll be like, oh, that's the Solier mask, dope as shit, cool, go team. And yeah. But without further ado, let's throw this thing on my face, and you guys will have to be gentle with me once again, because again, just give it a minute. Now, here's the mask. Now, just give me a minute. It doesn't look entirely right because I don't have the right thing on. If I'm gonna go full cosplay Grinn, then I gotta do it properly. But regardless, I do want to invest in Velcro strap because I'm just using a torn shirt, so it's kind of sliding down my face. But if I were to line it up perfectly where it's supposed to be, on my face is there. But this cord that I have right here is just falling. It's not like torquey enough to keep it straight. Also, I don't know if you're hearing any of this. So again, here's the mask when it's just being worn simply, easy peasy. Old shirt that happens to have the exact kind of weird, like grayish twirl spiral thing that happens within the Grim Reaper's kind of cloak weirdness in the anime. Anyways, regardless, very thin shirt. I can see out of it. Let's do this. We're about to rob a mall, and we're about to rob a mall. Great, go team. And ladies and gentlemen, I'm not sure if you can hear me at all because it's 3 layers of fabric, but this I feel is more the speed that should be the case. Now I can see actually perfectly fine because the shirt is just super thin, but yeah, all the things are right. The nose is black, but yeah, my nose still has room to pop through, so the mask is still like sewed to my face almost, like it's fused on there. It's really close to my skin, no bumps, no irregularities. Feels like it fits. I could wear this a long time if it wasn't the murderous heat that was eating me alive. So yeah, but yeah, this is essentially more the speed. This is more senpai death, if you will. More the things that honestly only define the mask are just the very circular like pool, like bowling ball nose and an eye slit, as well as the iconic 3 teeth, which I wish in honesty were a bit straighter. But improvements will be made. So anyways, ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for your time. There's a subscribe button below, as well as a link to my other channel, which we do gaming things there. Just in case you happen to find this one first. Yes, enjoy. Thank you. As well as for those guys who are utterly confused, and I guess this is the best time to where I should actually explain what the hell this channel is. Essentially, I really like this. The process of making masks. To me, I know that this could be silly to somebody, but it is kind of my art in a way. It's something that I want to improve at, to the point where I can actually be very artistic with it, making my own designs coming from scratch. But I need to develop skill in order to do that first. So my idea and hope is that I can basically try finding masks that you guys would like see being made. So let me know in the comments down below. But to me, that's like masks from anime, masks from Marvel movies, masks from just pop culture in general. And then by pursuing those things, by creating those things, and maybe I hit the nail on the head with some of them, maybe I whiff completely. But eventually I'll be gaining skill while trying to go after all of these ideas and becoming more of an artist and actually able to make whatever I want with the skills that I eventually attain. Does that make sense? Regardless though, this is not necessarily like a tutorial channel or anything like that. It's more me just trying to make something that is satisfying and enjoyable to watch. And eventually my end goal is to eventually make stuff that anybody would like to have, that anyone would think, okay, that's kind of awesome, I want it. And yeah, but we'll see where the future takes us. I'll do my best to get as good as I possibly can, as fast as I can. So in order to hold me to that, I hope you guys come along on the journey. Thank you so much for your time. Hopefully you guys enjoy the rest of your day, and goodbye.